Welcome to the continuation of QTP Checkpoint. In the previous video, we recorded and we have created a QTP script. And basically, it was a straightforward navigating to facebook.com, putting in some invalid or negative credentials for the negative test, and then we put in a checkpoint that we can see here. If we go back, this is the page that we put in the checkpoint. Here it is. This is the page that we put in the checkpoint. And we did not actually close the browser. Let me hit record. Let me close the browser so that it records that part as well. Let's run this script and see what happens. We click on Run and click on OK. So it opens up the browser, navigates to facebook.com, it enters invalid text, and tries to close the browser, and it did close the browser. Okay, so what is the difference between recording a script without a checkpoint and recording a script with a checkpoint? We did the same thing before. We entered all the text and closed the browser. What's so different that we had done in this script? So we had a checkpoint, but we did not actually see anything happening because of the checkpoint. So if you want to see that, you have to click on the results sign. As you can see here, this is a shortcut for the Quick Test Professional results. Click on that. So we can see the result file is opening up. Let's make it bigger so we can see what's happening. Okay. So if you scroll down, you'll see that in this iteration there is one pass. If we did not have the checkpoint, you would see 0 pass, 0 fail. The reason it is 1 pass is because we did create a checkpoint and the checkpoint worked. QTP found that error message, so the checkpoint is all about putting a check for a particular object or existence of an object. On the left-hand side of the result viewer, if you double-click, you'll then see another action, Action 1. Click on that, double-click on that, keep double-clicking. On the search, keep double-clicking until there is no way to double-click anymore. So I'm basically following all those check marks, the green check marks. Double-click on that, and I double-click on that. Then, as you can see, this checkpoint. So, as I'm going through all these, you can see I went through all these green check marks, and I get to this. If I double-click on it, nothing happens. No more green marks for me to go. This is my last checkpoint. So this is the last part of my result summary, and this is my checkpoint. This is what I'm interested to see. This is the checkpoint that we want to be at and put. So on the right-hand side, you'll see a summary of that checkpoint. You'll see the email address, the details. The email address you have entered has already been registered, but your account has not been confirmed. So this is the error message we saw on facebook.com. And these are the properties and values of this checkpoint. We'll talk about properties and values later on. It is saying that this checkpoint has passed. QTP found that error message, and this is what we were testing for. So this is a pass. So let's try to run this script again, and this time let's try to get a fail. Let's try to have QTP not find that checkpoint. To be able to do that, let's 1 second. Okay. Okay, to be able to do that, we can basically, let's put a wait or a breakpoint in here. So if we click on the left-hand side of the script, on the left-hand side of the lines, you can see a red circle comes up. This is a breakpoint. If I click on number 8 and put the red circle on number 8, it will come up on number 8. That means the script will run until this point. Number 8 will not get executed. It will put a break on number 8. If I click run again, then it will execute number 8. So in this case, let's put a breakpoint and a space here, and put a breakpoint on number 7. So I'm putting a break on number 7 between the login and the checkpoint. So I'm putting a break so QTP will pause just before it checks the checkpoint. So once I get up to the login, click on login, I'll close the browser by myself manually, and then I will run it so that QTP checks for this checkpoint. In that case, I'm expecting QTP to not find the checkpoint. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So click on run, and let me close the result panel. So I click on run. So it should execute the script until clicking on login. So it says this warning message. Click on OK. And it navigates or opens a browser and tries to navigate to facebook.com. So it navigated to facebook.com, it put some invalid login and clicked on login. Now, in this case, it won't try to close the browser or check for the checkpoint. Everything will freeze because I have a checkpoint on number 8, or a break on number 8. It executed until line number 6. 7 has nothing. Line number 8, I have a breakpoint. So I can see this run button. This run option is enabled. That means I can hit on run and it will execute the next steps, which is checkpoint and close the browser. Before I click on run and tell QTP to execute the checkpoint line, I'll actually go back to the home page of Facebook, where I don't have that error message again. It is not shown on the web page anymore. So this error message is not shown anymore. I click on run, This time it runs line number 8, checking for that checkpoint. This is taking a longer time. That's good, which means it should be failing on that checkpoint. Let's see what happens. Yep, and we see an error. Cannot identify the object, email address, and blah, blah, blah. Email address already exists. ... So QTP is giving us an error message that it cannot find that checkpoint. So this is one type of testing. In an application you are checking for a certain thing, QTP will pass if it exists, and if it does not exist, it will fail. This is how we test for certain objects within an application. So let's click on stop. This will stop the run, and again, this makes sense because the error message does not exist on the page anymore because I hit the back button and went back to the home page where the error message is not there. We no longer have that pink dialog box. So this is all about QTP checkpoint. We'll explore more on checkpoints. In the next video, we'll go over QTP parameterization and how we can have multiple sets of data for running tests in QTP instead of just one set of data. So we can use as many email addresses and passwords as we want to log into Facebook application instead of just 1 or 2. So in the next video, let's go over parameterization. Thank you.